speaking of the Ravens, RJ, that you just talked about, and Maestro, I'm starting with you. Ravens are favored by 4, and they've kind of been all over the place. They blow out the Browns, and then they can't even do anything other than 10 ugly points against the Steelers, and then they're going to go to Tennessee, and they're favored by 4. This number, to me, Maestro, doesn't make any sense. Talk to me.
Well, they're going to London. This game is in London, and that's why you have the spread where it is. But, you know, they were up 10-3. They were going to make it 17-3. They were dominating. Lamar Jackson, very ill-advised interception in the end zone. But aside from that, he played well. He had so many drops. I believe it was 7 drops, 2 sure touchdowns that were drops. I mean, you can't put the ball better than he did in some of those spots. So the receivers completely let him down. I still think they're a far superior team, or let's say substantially better than the Titans, who were supposed to be great against the run, and they got run over by the Indianapolis Colts, and now they have to go across the pond. I'm going to lean Ravens here. I'm going to wait for a better number because I think there's a clear side. I just can't imagine Baltimore dropping all those passes again.
And clearly I'm an idiot because Sneak put it right there. London game, coach. This is the London game. I'm a moron. Sometimes I miss that, especially I'm going to email where I do my handicapping. They didn't even put that it's the London game there. Some don't. I need to be better. So, RJ, Maestro said he's waiting for maybe a little bit of a better number here. What about you?
The better number was there. It was 3 at one point. It crawled back up to 4. So I think a lot of people said that's too little, you know, letting Baltimore lay 3 because they see what Larry saw. Should have been a lot more points in that game. Bad drops, rare red zone struggles. They've typically been pretty good in the red zone, and Lamar's playing very well. Their offense is still 3rd in red zone rate, though, and 8th on 3rd down. Solid in both the pass and run. Tennessee's offense featuring Henry less. We're seeing Tyjae Spears play a lot more than is typical at this point. So Derrick Henry, those games that he dominates, he's not getting that much of an opportunity anymore. And that really only makes Hopkins the real threat of the offense. And sometimes he has these big games where he can go off like he did against Indy to some extent. Didn't really help them win the game. Baltimore's defense, 2nd in yards per play, 1st in yards per rush, 1st in red zone rate. We said last week they haven't played very many good quarterbacks. You know, Hurt, Burrow, 2 backup quarterbacks in that group. Tennessee didn't have a great quarterback either. You know, it's more of the same. They played well last week against Kenny Pickett. Probably going to play well against this offense here. That rush defense did fall apart. It was a lot of injuries, I think. We'll see how many of those players pop up on the injury report and are able to play. Maybe they have a little bounce back there. But the pass defense is still struggling, and Lamar's playing well enough. They should be able to score. It's hard to go against Vrabel. You know, he's tough as an underdog. Good history against Baltimore. Remember that big upset in the playoffs that one year? But I think they're pretty much overmatched here. I didn't agree with the 3. I'm glad it's raised because I think the line probably should be a little bit higher than this, around 5.
Here in this Sunday morning game, of course, this is across the pond where Coach is right now, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've got the Ravens. We've got the Titans. I've been big in Chip, or actually Sniper, I'm going to go to you first here. I've been pretty big on the Titans this year. You know, they always overperform. They always have value in that sense. But I feel like they're kind of in a tough spot playing the Ravens. Yeah. Ravens coming off a horrific loss last week. The receivers were really bad. Lamar was really good. The receivers were really bad. But a lot of that was drops, and there's a lot of variance with those drops. Like I assume we're not going to have as many drops this week against a Titans secondary that's pretty bad. Do you have a play in this one?
Isn't that the story of Lamar's career at this point? Like, he was great and he didn't get enough help from his teammates. It's like a one-man band so many times. I actually am going to follow the Titans here. I have a gut feeling that they can totally shut down the Ravens' run game, and I just don't love Lamar's weapons as much. I know that they're upgraded and everything, but just as you said last week, they looked terrible. A lot of gut feeling here for me. I think the Titans defense is going to shut down the Ravens, so I'm on the Titans.
All right. And Buckets, I got to ask you before we go to Chip and I give a quick take out, any astrology related facts that might relate to this Sunday morning Ravens Titans game?
I think we're going to keep astrology out of it this time, Sia. But what I am going to do is take my second favorite way to evaluate matches and just fade Sniper here. I'm going to be all over the Ravens. I love Ravens to win it. I love them on the spread. And specifically, I like Zay Flowers for the Ravens to get a lot of yards and a lot of receptions here.
Oh, Zay Flowers. Well, Chip, I can't really argue with that. I think that's a pretty good take against this Tennessee secondary. Do you have a play in this game or at least a lean?
Yeah, no, I'm a big Todd Monken guy. I think anybody that can turn Stetson Bennett into a national championship winning quarterback and a Heisman Trophy finalist certainly can coach up some offense. And early in the season, I thought that we were seeing that. Clearly, that has not been the case over the last couple of weeks. If maybe some wide receivers can pull down some balls in the end zone, we're having a different conversation. Let's say that on the long plane ride to London, Monken cooks up something special for this Tennessee Titans defense. I'm going to go Ravens. I'll lay the 4.
Yeah, I'm going to lay the 4 as well. It's an uncomfortable play for me because, again, I usually like to take the Titans in cases like this, especially with a 4-point spread here. But I think the Ravens are really going to fire on all cylinders coming off that just horrific loss to Pittsburgh last week, where they really played well for about 3.5 quarters.